Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an eyeshadow palette ranking. So I'm going to be ranking the last 10 eyeshadow palettes that I tried. Some of these I bought myself, some of these I got in PR. I like all of these, but so ranking them was very difficult. If you are new here, rankings stress me out. So this was a hard one because I really like all of these, but I think I'm happy with the ranking. This is a video I've done on my channel many times, inspired by Batty Bean and Annette's Makeup Corner and other creators. I haven't done one for a while. I've probably tried at least 30 palettes, at least, since the last time I did one of these videos. But instead of trying to go back and find the last one I did and start working my way through that, I decided to just literally start over and start with the last 10 that I have tried. So if you were interested in how some of the ones before that would have ranked, let me know and I can do that as well. But yeah, it's been a while since I've done one of these. I keep meaning to, and then I get anxious and then I don't do it. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Colin. I'm a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup with a definite special interest in sparkly indie eyeshadow and high-end and luxury makeup, and I have both of those here today. And I tend to be pretty analytical in the videos I make. I try really hard to just make thoughtful, analytical content, and I have videos every week, so I'd really love to have you subscribe. Okay, so before I begin, I do want to say, I'll mention which ones I got in PR and which ones I bought, but basically it's mostly the indie palettes that I've gotten PR and the other ones I paid for. But I really like all of these. This was hard because I like all of them. So what I tried to do, and there's one spot where I was like, back and forth. I spent like 10 minutes just going back and forth, and I was like, it doesn't matter. This ranking could change in a day or two. It doesn't, this is not a permanent thing. If you are new, also, I am an autistic Libra with diagnosed OCD. So these things are making decisions and ranking things stresses me out and is hard, but I do find it a fruitful thought process and thought experiment. So I do still like to do it. But like I said, I like all of them. I'll have everything linked in the description box below if you've been interested in any of these. If you do use my links, I greatly appreciate it, or my discount codes. Helps me a lot. I'm finally, now a couple years into this channel, starting to break even, which is really nice. So it's not becoming as expensive as a hobby as it has in the past. I tried to rank these kind of based on what I've used the most. So some of these are fairly new and I haven't had the longest with them. I don't feel like you really get to know a palette and your relationship with it until you've had it for a long time and months to see how much you organically use it and all of that. But some of these are like, I really like them. There's really pretty colors, but they're more colorful than I grab on a daily basis or something like that. So that's kind of where placements happened. And if you were interested in any of the makeup I am wearing right now, it'll be just linked in the description box as well. I always have all my makeup details and links. I just filmed a video going over the new Lisa Eldridge lipstick formula. So that is what I have on my mouth. And then I have one of the shadows from one of these palettes on the eyes. And you'll see that when we get there. Okay, so coming in 10th place is going to be the Harvest of Souls palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. I feel bad putting this in 10th place. I did get this in PR. I do have a discount code with Fantasy Cosmetica. It's Bones. It's almost always Bones unless something else, but they're all in the description box. That one is affiliated. But I really like this. This is their biggest palette. This was sold out. It is back in stock now if you were wanting to get it. I really like this palette. I've had a lot of fun with it. I've used it on camera, at least in the video that I did. I did multiple looks, but I've also used it off camera multiple times. And I do really like this, but it is very colorful. And in the last year and a half, I've gravitated away from color as much. So I'd say 4 out of 5 days a week that I'm wearing makeup if I wear makeup that much. I don't always wake up in time. But like if I'm wearing makeup to work, I would say at least 3 of those days are gonna be neutrals, at least. And although I do find if I do neutrals too many times in a row, I need some color, but I'm just not grabbing for color as much as I used to. So this is really beautiful. The formula is really nice. I have 0 complaints. Some of these shades are really special. Really like this like blue, almost iridescent duochrome here. I like that it's kind of organized in quads. So you've got like a blue quad, a green quad, a purple quad, and then you've got kind of a green quad with this wine color that can go with others. This is like more olive here, and this is more green. I really like this. I think this is beautiful. I've grabbed the shimmers in this more than I've grabbed the mattes. The mattes are lovely, but when I'm in a hurry, I'm often grabbing like putting a brown on my lid or like a brown liquid shadow, like the Eldridge liquid shadow, putting that all over the lid and then just putting a shimmer on top. So I'll grab like this one, or this one, and throw those on the lid. Or I just haven't also been going out or doing anything in the evening. So, but I really love this. 0 complaints. Totally worth the money. If you were into these colors, I think this is fully worth the money. But because it's all color, and I just am not using that every day like I did a year or 2 ago, it just had to go in the bottom. But I think Jordan has an amazing brand, really great formulas, really great color stories. Totally recommend it. So the next palette, in 9th place, is one of the newest palettes from Suqqu. So they just released their holiday collection. This is their winter collection. And I really like this. I really love this palette. I love the Suqqu formula. Hi, Bean. She's been asleep for the last couple hours. She's probably gonna lay on the couch. I really like this. I want the holiday palettes, but I don't need them, so I'm holding off. If I had included the 10 palettes before this, it probably would have been the autumn palettes from Suqqu, the Hermes palette, the Prada palettes I got in Europe, like a lot of, and some Eldridge. Actually, I can do a video if you want of the 10 palettes before this, because it's basically the luxury stuff I bought this summer. But I really like this. The reason this is ranking a little lower is just because it is very monochromatic. I think the formulas are beautiful. This dark blue shade is really beautiful, and I've grabbed it a bunch for when I want like color, but like subdued and just that smoky blue all over the lid, kind of like I have a smoky purple right now. I've grabbed that a bunch, but 0 complaints about this formula, color, anything. It's just very monochromatic. I probably could have skipped this over some of the other Suqqu palettes I've bought, but I really like it, and I really wanted this shade, and I really wanted the shimmers in here, especially this dark one. So, but it's gonna go in 9th place. Again, doesn't mean it's bad. I love this. I have 0 regrets buying this. The next palette, number 8, is actually gonna be what I have on my eyes, and it is the holiday palette from Byredo. I should have a video on this already up by the time this goes live. I really like this palette, but I have mixed feelings about this palette. I really like it, but it is not for everyone, and that is why I put it lower, because you can only do a handful of looks with this. It's a 5-pan palette, and you're probably you could do basically like 1 look per thing if you really wanted. But it's limited in the fact that it's like a matte and a like satin with sparkle that are similar. Like this is more olive, this is a little bit grayer and a little more brown, but this is very olive. 2 gold shimmers that are like, you can see this one is a little more antique, this one's a little brighter, this one's a little bit more opaque than this one, and then you've got the purple. So I think this is a really pretty palette, and I've used it a bunch, and I don't think it's at risk of being like returned or anything. I'm still within the 30-day window, I believe. If I'm not, I'm just right outside of it. But it's not for everyone, and you're really only gonna get either a gold, like an olive smoky look or a purple smoky look with it, which I like. And I like those colors, I like those looks. And this is gonna be easier to take with me to work to make my look more dramatic or traveling than some of my other palettes that have similar tones. So like, I like it, but it's just not for everyone. So if you want swatches and you want more detailed thoughts, I would check out that video. But this is the purple I have all over my lid. I just have this down and I buffed the edges and I really like it. It's a smokier version of like Faded Amethyst from Eldridge. And I've worn this other times. This olive, really beautiful out of the lid. If you want basically like really dark, almost matte, olive smoky eye, this is a good one. So like you can get it, but you're always gonna get a smoky eye. You're always gonna get a lot of depth with this. So it's not the most versatile, and it's not, I don't think it's like gonna be everyone's palette, but it makes sense for Byredo and I do enjoy it. And I really do like this purple. So that's why it's there. Okay, next in 7th place. So 6th and 7th place were really hard and I could switch them tomorrow. Like literally like basically tied 6th and 7th place. So take that with a grain of salt. But the next one is gonna be another Fantasy Cosmetica palette, and it is the Enchanted Autumn palette. This was a collaboration, their very first, with my friend Amanda. So I get this in PR because I already got PR from Fantasy, but also I'm friends with Amanda, so I think I would have gotten this anyway. Really love this. I think she did a really great job curating this. It's very Amanda, and I really like it. I've used this a lot. You can see it's a little more earthy and desaturated than the other one, and that's why I like this a little bit more. This Dogwood shade is a little too pinky red for me to really ever wear. And Foggy is a little more gray for my undertone, but I really like the other formats a lot. The shimmers are all really pretty. Luna, Scorpio, and Harvest Moon, but especially Scorpio and Luna, I'll just wear as kind of a one and done. Really pretty, really beautiful. I think Amanda did a great job. The one that I put in 6th place has a couple shades that I think I'm gonna grab a little bit more, which is why I put it higher, but I really like this. I think Amanda did a great job, and I really am excited to see that Fantasy Cosmetica did a collab, especially with someone that I really like and talk to all the time. So again, I have a discount code with them. I think that's still available, but I will have everything linked down below. The next palette in number 6th place, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, yeah, 6th place, is going to be the newest palette in my collection, and it is the Nomad Polar Express palette. This video went live a few days ago. I got this last week. So I've had it for a week and a half, something like that. And I've used it a bunch. I filmed multiple looks and I've used it a couple times off camera. Really like this. This is a really beautiful palette. It's kind of, you've got a blue section here and then a neutral section here with these two reds. I like this red. It's kind of a clay red. This is a little too red for me. I don't really like red eyeshadow, so that immediately knocks it down one. Blue is my favorite. Blue and green are my favorite colors. Blue is my favorite color though. So this had to rank a little bit higher because it has those blues. I don't wear blue eyeshadow every day. I used to. I used to wear blue eyeshadow at least once or twice a week. And I still sometimes do like blue eyeliner, but I just don't wear blue eyeshadow as much as I used to. But this is really beautiful. And especially if you do like that like neutral with a pop of color, it's really great. This is kind of like half cool, half warm, which is another thing I really love in palettes. And what bumped this up a little bit higher than the Fantasy palette is this first gift shade here is really beautiful, like taupey brown, similar to Smoky Quartz from Charlotte Tilbury as a single. And that's something that I use a lot for work because I can just put that on the lid, blend the edges, and I'm done. And then Christmas Carol is kind of that like olivey antique gold. And then you've got, you know, the blue purple multi-chrome and you can put any of the shimmers over any of the mattes, obviously. And then you've got like some good true neutrals. This has a silver, that has a silver. They're both good silvers. I think these are all really great palettes. Like I said, I did get this in PR. I might not have said that. And I do have a discount code with Nomad. It's not affiliated. So Fantasy Cosmetica, I earn commission. I mean, not very much, but I earn a little commission. This I don't. It just saves you money. But I really love this. It was hard not to put this higher, but I know I'm been grabbing, and I probably will continue to grab some of these other ones a little bit more. I kind of like when I go to rank things and I obviously have like, oh, I don't like these, so these are obviously in the bottom. It stresses me out more when I really like, when it's like, these ones are my favorites, I know that. And then everything through here, it's like, I like them, what order do I put them in? It stresses me out so much. Let me know in the comments if you also get stressed out like by that kind of stuff. And I know it's a video, doesn't matter. It's not like I'm getting rid of them, like the bottom half or something like that. Like, there's no consequences to this, but it still stresses me out. Okay, so the next palette on the list, number 5, is going to be another Nomad palette, and this is the Nomad Speakeasy palette. I really like this. I like the theme. I love the colors. I think they outdid themselves. I did at least 3 looks with this palette in the video, and I've worn it half a dozen times off camera as well in the last month. I really like this palette. I think this is totally worth the money if this is your color scheme. You've got warm neutrals here, so those are more true neutrals in there. Like the browns in Polar Express are a little more neutral. So if I put them side by side, you can see like that hot cocoa shade right there and the dark shade are more neutral. This is definitely a little more yellow leaning. More golden. So you've got like these warm neutrals and then again, cool tones over here. Love that mix. These instead of blue are purple. And I have noticed myself over the last year grabbing purpley tones more than blues. But, so that's what made this one edge out the other one slightly. But you've got some warm neutrals, really beautiful. You can go really red, you can go very neutral. You've got an iridescent shifty shade. All the shadows and all the shimmers in here are shifty, which also push this one a little bit higher. You've got the like red, gold, green multi-chrome that other people also have. You've got this really cool green purple here, this like purple pink blue one here, and then this one's like champagne neutral pink, really pretty. And then you've got light to dark in both warm and cool. So I really like this. I think this is 100% worth it. I think this is a really beautiful palette, and I like that they're all shifty. I don't always want a shifty shadow, and actually on day-to-day I don't actually grab shifty, maybe an iridescent shifty like this one, but that's why this isn't higher. It's higher than the others because it's got really special shimmers, but it's not higher than some of the other ones because like sometimes a boring shimmer actually wins out on my like what I'm actually gonna grab. So really love it though. Okay, so coming in 4th place is going to be the Natasha Denona warm palette. I refuse to say the whole, I need a warm palette, it's fine. Some people just say I need a warm and that's stupid. I do have a video review of this. I like the packaging. I have some issues with the brand and the naming convention of this, but I do really like this. This has been a staple for me since it came out. It's just really useful. I don't think it's actually that warm. In that video, I did lots of comparisons, comparing it to her palettes and other palettes. So if you want to see detailed comparisons, go check that out. I'll have it linked in the cards. But you've got like very neutral browns, which I love. Some more peachy tones, which I really like and I don't have a ton of for some reason. And then you do have a multi-chrome. It's actually very similar to the one in the Nomad palette. The Nomad one is, I think, probably better. But and I do have some issues where she's like, this is supposed to be a sparkling foiled, and it's neither sparkling nor foiled. So I have some issues. But especially this bottom row, the most boring row, I grab a lot for work looks. So you've got this cream to powder shade here, which I really love to start a smoky look. You've got a nice dark brown, and then these three shimmers are really pretty, especially this like hanker shade that's like kind of green brown, bronze, and like satin. Like that all over. Perfect one and done, run out the door every day kind of thing. And that's why this one beat the other ones a little bit, is because I've used specifically these two shimmers, these three shades here, so much. Do I think a $65 or $69 palette is worth it for three shades? No. But I like the other shades, and I like that they're magnetic, and I own a bunch for old palettes so I can mix and match. But these three shades are honestly what I grab for the most. And even over some of the sparkly or the, you know, special shade, it's these three. I really like them. So I just keep grabbing those. And that's what made that one beat the others. Coming in at third place is gonna be the other Suku Winter palette. This is number 142, I think that was 143. I adore this palette. This almost got second place and first place. Like these top three, depending on the day, could be interchangeable. So like, they're all kind of tied for top three. You're okay, Bean? Did you hear something in the hallway? You're okay. They're kind of all interchangeable. So it's a quad, just like the other one, but it's a little more versatile. It's less monochromatic. So you've got a satin matte brown, really lovely, my favorite kind of brown. You've got this really beautiful sparkly topper shade that just adds a twinkle to things. And then the two shades here, you've got a gunmetal. It looks kind of silver, but it's gunmetal. Really beautiful for that like smoky gray kind of look. And then this like mauve-y purple satin is just so pretty all over the lid. Like it's a little less dark than what I have on. I'll just put a little bit on over it so you can see it's a little bit brighter. And the Suku formula has quickly become one of my favorites. They're so finely milled. They're so silky. I think they're a slurry formula like Surratt. So they're that very silky melt, like blend themselves kind of formula. Love this so much, so pretty. Actually, I'll put a little bit of the sparkly shade on here too. So you can see, it's not like a Pat McGrath shade, although you can build it up or put it over something tacky. But it's one of those where it adds a twinkle, and then in like the right lighting, you really see that soft twinkle effect, which I adore. So this was an easy third place. This has been one of my most used palettes, like at least once a week for the last month or so. Okay, so top two. In second place is gonna go to Lisa Eldridge Fawn. I love Lisa Eldridge eyeshadow formula. One of the shimmers in here is like fine, but the mattes and the other shimmer make up for it, especially the mattes. So this is her True Neutral palette. Came out with the liquid eyeshadows. So you've got three mattes here, a satin, a sparkly shade, and then this is a duochrome, but it's like a satin duochrome, so it's like pinky peach. It's very thin and very sheer, so it's very bridal friendly. Or if you're scared of something too colorful, but you want that little bit of pinky peach color, it works well for that. This shade is very sparkly. It's called White Tie, and it's one of her luminous shades, so it's very sparkly. Like you can see, I'll tap a little bit of that over as well. You can see it's more sparkly than the Suku, and if you build it up, it can be very sparkly. Yeah, you can see just how sparkly that is. Really like this formula, but the mattes in here and the satin really sell it for me. So you've got a cream to powder shade here that's a nice taupe sculpting shade. It does take, on my skin tone, it takes a little bit of building up, and I love a cream to powder. One of my favorite formulas to work with. They just kind of melt into the skin. And then you've got like a dark charcoal, a nice mid-tone neutral brown, and then this satin. I know it's boring, but this satin brown is so pretty. The mattes in here give me 90s vibes, and that like 90s smoky eye, just I really love the color of that. And I grab these for the mattes all the time. Like I'll grab these mattes and then I'll grab a shimmer. So this had to be second place because of how much I use it. Okay, so if you've been around my channel for a little bit, I'm sure you'll know what number one is. Wow, I can't talk. It's been a long day. And it's gonna go to the new Makeup by Mario Etherealized Moonlight palette. That was hard to say. I did not buy the original Etherealized palette because I had the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude, and I just like, it didn't feel worth $70 for me. And now I regret it, but, and there were some mixed reviews and stuff, but this came out right around my birthday. I had a gift card for Sephora, so I only had to pay $20 after taxes and everything. And I'm so happy I got this. So I know Tom, Hope Mess Tom, didn't like this and already returned it. They love the original Etherealized. And one of the things they liked about it was how soft and powdery the mattes were. And a lot of other people hated the mattes for that reason. So for this one, he did change the mattes a little bit and Tom didn't like that. But I really like these. I still think they're pretty soft and powdery. They blend really easily. They layer really easily. They're just really nice to work with. And then the shimmers here are all like, these four are all like a moon dust shadow where they're like just a wet sparkle. And then this satin, like bluey silver charcoal shade all over the lid as a smoky eye. I just have a thing for satins in the last year. And as, I don't know if it's as I'm getting older or just because I've used so much makeup in the last 4 years, really grown to love satins. Satins and like sheer sparkly things are like my everyday versus colorful stuff now. And this has that. So you can do a gray smoky eye, you've got a black, you can do a blue smoky eye. You can do something more like slightly cool neutral. This is taupe. This one's kind of taupey. These are a little more brown. So for me, I tend to stick with these two mattes and then these shimmers. I love this brown right here. You can see it's just that like wash of sparkle. So pretty, really happy I have this. Wish I had the original now. Yeah, I've grabbed this a lot. These three, I have sparkle all over, so I'm trying to be careful, but these three I've been grabbing so much. They're like my perfect everyday things right now. So they had to be the top three. So that is my ranking. Let me know what you think. Do you have any of these? What are your thoughts on them? How would you rank them? I'd love to talk to you all in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and I will see you all in my next video.